Alright guys, welcome to a new video. Well, we finally got our volatility and it is in the form of a breakdown. We were obviously expecting a big move to occur because we were very compressed down at these levels or up at these levels with all these very small daily changes, and volatility was basically near zero. So we were expecting, and most of the market was, that at some point when this would get going, it would be quite a move. Well, we did get quite a move. It doesn't even show it entirely in its full picture on here, but we'll head into some alts soon. So BTC went down about 13% in the matter of 2 days, but most of it was in like 15 minutes. And even on perpetuals, on like Binance and Bybit on the futures, it went down to nearly like 24K or so. So we saw over like a 10% move, well over 10% move in the matter of like 5 minutes maybe. So that was absolutely crazy. Today we're just gonna head to like some general market overview and kind of go through what I think could be next. First off, I'd like to remind you again that I can do this without my partners, so they're listed in the description below. Check them out, and let's get right into it. So, well, let's first zoom out on the weekly. All in all, if you zoom out, obviously we're still perfectly fine. We're technically still holding also the bullish market structure with a higher low over here compared to this one before, but it's not looking pretty. We are still sitting in between the weekly 200 MA and EMA, and we held the 25K level perfectly, actually. So this was, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people that have had some nice spot bits filled up here. So good job if you did. All in all, my general bias has been to see like probably an ETF delay in the next week or two, and then I was kind of expecting such a move to occur afterwards, but I mean, we got it a bit early, so that's something noteworthy. In case of a delay, I would just say, or maybe even a rejection, I would just assume we get a slow rest of the year, which has been my base case so far. Obviously, I wasn't expecting such a big move right now already. Besides that, I think the market will start forming a range somewhere around here. So usually what is easiest to do is then mark the local low and then get the high like up until where it bounced. And there's a good chance, unless this just pulls like a full Dalai Lama, as we know, like this kind of structure. This would be quite bullish if it happens, but if we get up here at all and we reject, I think this is just gonna start ranging, and we might fill the wick down here again, and we kind of do something like this, just awaiting the ETF decision somewhere, probably at the end of the month. Obviously, these are quite big moves for the time frame I drew them on, so just don't watch the time frame, but this is kind of just a general idea. So, what's also interesting or like good to know is that this dump down here, obviously a lot of positions got squeezed out, and we lost up to like 20% of open interest on ETH and BTC, which is massive. It was the biggest liquidation event since the FTX collapse. Usually, I also tweeted about this during these kind of events. If you're in like a full bull run where you're at all-time highs, stuff like that, these things do tend to happen because longs just keep stacking up, and at some point they need to get flushed. Usually, whenever that happens during like a proper bull run, these are the times you usually should end up buying. Like history has taught us that those flushes are the best to buy, and then from there on out, usually Bitcoin is back to all-time highs within like a month or so. Obviously, times are a bit different. We also see stocks turning around. Maybe I'm memeing myself here with the fact like, okay, this time is different. I mean, I'm not really bullish nor bearish per se. I was a bit bearish up here because I thought the momentum was kind of lost, and I thought the ETF would get delayed, which can still happen, of course. I'm actually I'm still expecting delay, but I'm giving like an approval, a bit of a bigger chance even, because um, I'm a bit skeptical with the fact that in this region here, we were sitting here and then the SEC sued like the entire crypto space, including Coinbase. Um, and then only like a week later or so, the BlackRock ETF filing got failed, and we just took off. So obviously that was a bit weird in terms of timing. So who knows? It's like the move itself is. I'm not calling manipulation or anything here, because it only needed a little push. It could have gone up to the upside as well. Only needed a little push to just get this cascade going. So nothing crazy there. Just quite interesting how this happened before like the big ETF, which people are waiting for. What's interesting here is also right after the dump, I think there was some news that the SEC would approve some kind of Ethereum ETF. So for futures ETF that is. So ETH rallied on that, and just alts in general have been doing okay. Also, some noteworthy alts I'd say would be like Optimism, like this one already retraced its entire dump. Same with like Arbitrum, and there's quite a few others. So usually, if you're looking to long anything at all, I would always suggest like or recommend watch for strength. Like, sure, it may be more tempting to, let's say, Litecoin to do this. Like this may fill up this entire inefficiency, which is quite a move still. And this is tempting. And sure, if this does get going, I mean, if it breaks out here, it could easily do this. But in the end, usually coins that do already just instantly retrace do end up just even going up much more than these weaker coins that are having trouble with retracing the entire thing. So keep that in mind. Then onto Bitcoin dominance. This is the first time in a while, like this is the XRP lawsuit thing that the positive news that happened here. Obviously, alts rallied on that. But since then, it's basically been a bit sideways, and up until recently, alts started bleeding. But like since yesterday and today, alts have actually started gaining against BTC. So it does seem like this does want to test this 48.5% level. And I would assume if we break below here, that we'd see further strength from altcoins against BTC, which would also make sense. I mean, if BTC starts ranging here or just whatever, and there's also some positive news with ETH, with futures, stuff like that, it does make sense that alts finally catch up a bit. I mean, these have been downtrending against BTC for like almost a year even. So for this to kind of turn around a bit and see some relief on alts makes sense. And keep in mind when I say this is purely alts against BTC and not alts against its dollar valuations. Because sure, we saw it here yesterday. We had a red candle on Bitcoin dominance. So yes, alts gained against BTC. But if you look at like the absolute dollar valuations, obviously alts also went down as BTC also did. So keep that in mind. With that, I think for now, we're waiting to see a range form here. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a, at least for me, it's a bit of a gamble to see where this is heading from here. Yeah, I think usually it's smart to just wait this out, see where the bulls step in, where sellers come in. We did fill most of this inefficiency, so I would assume or like consider this filled. So from here on out, I wouldn't be surprised. There's going to be volatility much more than before. I'm sure about that, but I'm not going to be surprised to just see us ranging here again, have everyone guessing, get them chopped up. And I think it's easier during times like these to just focus on individual alts instead of like watching the overall market, because it's probably going to be difficult, and we still got this ETF thing in front of us, which people are waiting for, whatever is going to happen there. And until then, it's just likely going to be chop. And depending on what the outcome is on this ETF, I would assume a direction is chosen there. I will say that the delay does make sense, I think. And the fact that we already went down this much, I would assume, sure, there's probably going to be a negative reaction if the ETF gets delayed, as it will likely put the decision until like early 24. So it's probably people that aren't going to wait for that long. But with this move already happened and all the, like most of the liquidity towards the downside taken in the short term, I don't think there's going to be like a massive follow-up move to the downside on the ETF delay, as there's just no more high leverage in the system right now. So it's going to be difficult to push it that low, unless we, of course, see a rejection or an approval that's really going to stir things up. Until then, play it safe, I'd say. Just focus on things you like, read about upcoming projects. I think there's going to be projects launching or announcing stuff during times like these, but because the sentiment is kind of bad, there's probably not going to be that much of a price reaction on stuff. But it doesn't mean like a fundamental change can be good. I mean, people always look at price to confirm their bias or their ideas or whatever. And sure, if price goes up, everything all of a sudden looks great and everything fundamentally is insane. But the real steals and the big gains are really made during these less ideal times, I'd say. And some projects just keep building, they keep releasing good stuff, but people don't care when the prices are in the gutter. But those are when you can really pick up the good stuff. So if you're following a project and you really like it, just TCA, always a safe bet. And I'd say play the trend. That's the easiest you can do. On BTC, trend is down on the lower time frames. If we zoom out, it's still up. It's gonna be up, like unless we sweep this low. But I'm not too worried about that personally. For now, as long as we hold above 25k, I think it's okay. But I'm not expecting any crazy moves in the short term with this move just having occurred. Just need the market to find like an equilibrium, just balance it out and see where it can find a floor, where buyers step in, where sellers step in, and go from there. Focus for me is on alts, as those tend to do more of their own thing. And especially with Bitcoin dominance going down a bit, I think we can see some nice altcoin moves towards both sides, which can be played. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I would like to remind again, check out the partners below if you need a new exchange. I got you covered. And also if you're looking for like journaling software for your trading stuff, I'm partnered up with Coin Market Manager, so check out their software. It's really useful. And especially once this volatility comes back and we start trading a bit more, it's useful to have such a tool. And there's a free trial for you to try out. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day and good luck.